It should be fun. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Thank you for watching. I got a lot of requests to do a Q&A video, so here we are. And I've been gone for a little bit because I had a cold and I'm feeling better now. I get that, like, the allergy feeling right here where you always feel like you're about to sneeze and you're just like, there's a meme. Instead of making the face, I'm gonna just insert the meme. So anyway, I'm gonna answer your questions, and then I have my mama bear mug here with my tea in case I get a cough attack. so yeah, if you want to see my Q&A, keep watching. So I'll just jump right in and start answering questions. They're in no particular order. The first question is, well, she asked two questions. Would you ever go to a medium to see if you can contact your son? And did you ever go apply to the nursing program you were talking about? So the first one, would I contact a medium? I would. I haven't really thought. Maybe I should have read these first so I could think about them. Yeah, I would. I would love to hear something from Braxton. You know, it's really hard that I never got to have any type of verbal communication with him. I mentioned it before that when people pass away, they're usually older, and Braxton is just a baby. So I just wonder, I know his spirit is still here, but I always wonder, I just want to make sure that he's okay because he's a newborn. He was just a little baby, you know. And so the answer is yes. I would be open to that. And the second part, yes, I applied to the nursing program. I applied at a new school, different school that I usually don't go to. And I also just applied, I finished like my application process for my current school. That was kind of hard because I turned in my application and then the nursing director recognized my name because I had applied last semester, and when I went in, it was the day right after my due date. It was literally the day that Braxton passed away, so she was like, Felicia Temez, you had your baby. And then usually I'm okay and I don't cry every time someone mentioned it to me, but it was so hard for me to just go back into that office and do the exact same thing that I did right before I found out that Braxton passed away. So as soon as she said that, I said, yes, he didn't make it. And I just started crying so much. And there were a few other girls in there applying as well. And everyone just started crying. And she came to me and she gave me a hug, the director. And yeah, so I did. And it was really hard. But I felt very accomplished afterwards. I mean, I'm not in the program yet, but it was a huge step for me just to go back to the same building, the same office, see the same people that I saw the day, like the worst day of my life, basically. So yes, I did. Next question. What's your dream vacation? My dream vacation now is to go to a place like Thailand. My dream is to just be around a baby elephant because obviously, like, that's my symbol with Braxton. That's our thing. So I just feel like I'm going to feel really close to Braxton whenever I get to be near a little baby elephant. And I would love to see the culture in Thailand as well. Thailand, and then the second one is Japan. I think Japan just looks really, really cool, and I've been completely obsessed with ramen lately. Maybe that's why, but yeah. So Thailand and Japan. Okay, a lot of you actually asked this, so I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story. I just think you're so brave and so encouraging. Thank you so much. My question is, if you have another baby in the future, will you be using the things from your first child? So will I be using Braxton's things? I don't really know until that time comes. I know we'll be keeping his crib, his dresser, his stroller, the car seats for our rainbow baby, but I don't know if we have a boy, if I would be able to use the clothes for our rainbow baby. I've looked at it a couple different ways. So at first I would think to myself, no, it's gonna just be way too hard to see if we have a boy, Braxton's little brother, wearing those clothes, and just look at him and wonder what Braxton would have looked like in those clothes, or things like that. But then I also look at it as if what would we do if Braxton were here? And if Braxton were here, then yeah, his little brother would definitely be using his clothes. There are certain outfits that are just special for Braxton, like let me grab it. I mean, his closet is right here. So this is just an example of one thing. It's a little onesie. It says Little Sunshine. And the reason why this is so special to me is because it was the first thing that it's so little. It was the first thing that I bought for Braxton, and it's green and yellow because they're gender neutral. I can't say the word. Gender neutral colors. And I was like so eager to just go buy something for the baby, and I didn't know if it was going to be a boy or a girl yet, so I just ended up buying this. So this is really special. Yeah, and then there are other items that are just really special, and they always belong to only Braxton. So yes, we do plan to use the crib and the big things, I guess, for his sibling. Another thing too is that we have this sign that says Braxton right there. So that sign on his crib that says Braxton Tiago. So we plan to actually keep that here in the room and have one made for his sibling and put them side by side, because again, if Braxton were here, then they would be sharing this room together. I haven't been saying the names. I think I'm supposed to say the names, right, if you asked. So V and Little Rose Vlog said, I saw that you're from Arizona. I'm in Arizona too. Are you going to any support groups? How has school been? So we're actually not in Arizona, we're in California. Maybe you saw Braxton's U of A onesie. That's because Jonathan went to school at University of Arizona in Tucson, but we actually live in California. And yes, we go to a support group once a month, and we were doing like private counseling sessions before, but kind of pricey. And I mean, it's totally worth it because you can't put a price on the help that you get, but the support groups are really, really helpful. Recently school has been easier for me than work. A lot less stressful, even though I have a lot of work and everything. But at school, I'm not constantly seeing people all day and explaining to them that Braxton passed away and things like that. A lot of people don't know me, it's a new class. So yeah, school's been going pretty good for me. Evelyn G says, you are so strong. Thank you. Did you have to deliver him naturally or C-section? How long did you have time with him till you had to let him go? Sorry if this question bothers you. No, it doesn't bother me at all. I actually love talking about it and bringing awareness. So I delivered Braxton. I didn't have a C-section. I had him vaginally. I know I've been saying that I'm going to talk about my birth, and I will soon. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to talk about it. So that's why I guess I don't feel exactly ready to do it right now, but I will soon. Yeah, I had him vaginally. It was so painful. And we got to spend 13 hours with Braxton. So the choice was ours, how long we got to spend with him, and we were lucky enough to have a cuddle cot. If you don't know what a cuddle cot is, it's basically a bassinet that's usually been donated by another family, and it has a cooling pad underneath, So that helps to keep the baby's body cooler so that their color doesn't transition as quickly. Um, but even with the cuddle cot, it was, I think, like 10 hours after I gave birth to Braxton. I gave birth to him at 3 a.m. So it was the next day. And it was just, really didn't want to cry in this video. It was hard to, know that we had to leave at some point. And I really, like, I would still be there right now if I could. But the only thing is that his color kept changing more and more, and it just makes me sad. I just didn't want to remember him that way. I wanted to remember him, you know, sleeping peacefully. And yeah, that was like the hardest thing we ever had to do, was to leave. And to answer your question, we spent 13 hours with him, and they were the best 13 hours of our lives. Like, they'll forever be the best 13 hours of our lives. Okay. I was really trying not to cry, but those are some of the memories that make me really sad. So, next question. So Claudia Zuniga says, how many kids do you want to have? You said in your videos you're going to school. What career do you want? What was your plan with Braxton? Going back to work after a couple of months, or becoming a stay-at-home mom? Will that plan change after you have another baby? So how many kids do we want? Right now we only talked about having one kid, one baby. I don't know, that might change in the future, but yeah, just one. So yes, I'm going to school, hopefully getting into the nursing program, and I want to be a peds nurse. Now it's kind of changing. Either from my experience, I feel like I might be a pretty good labor and delivery nurse, and I would love to be in, well, I hate for this to happen to someone else, but I would love to be able to help someone else, because the nurses that were in the room with my delivery were so kind, so amazing, but I just felt like I had no direction. Like, I didn't know if it was going to hurt me more to stay with Braxton longer. I didn't know if I should take pictures. Like, looking back, I wish I had someone there saying, like, hey, like, why don't you, like, you don't feel like doing it now, but why don't you put, the robe on or the socks that you bought because you're still a mom to him? Why don't you take a picture of him on your chest? Why don't you smile in one of the pictures because you're happy to be with him? I wish there was someone there who kind of would have guided me a little bit more. So yeah, maybe a labor and delivery nurse. And my plan was to be on leave with Braxton for about 3 to 4 months. And then I would have been hopefully starting the nursing program at that time. And if I have another baby, no, I don't think the plan will change. I'm not sure. After all of this has happened, I don't know if it's going to be really hard for me to just not be with our rainbow baby 24/7 for fear and anxiety of something happening. But this is just part of our journey now, I guess. AE is the name. She asked what would we be doing with Braxton's room. One of my biggest fears is losing a child. Do you have any advice for mothers who are dealing with this and how to cope and go on with life after losing a child? Honestly, I'm still figuring it out every day. I will say that you do have to put in effort, a lot of effort to, like, you have to try a lot harder now to even just do the basic things. Like me going to work every day, I had to try really hard. But I guess my advice would be patient with yourself and don't give up and don't lose hope. And talk to other angel moms. It helps a lot. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have the support and the connection with the other moms that I do. I would have no idea. I'd be like, am I overreacting now? Is this normal? why am I thinking these thoughts? Does anyone else feel this way? So it's really helpful to have that, to talk to other moms who've gone through this too. Yaya MAALV says, how is your husband coping with his feelings? Does he keep them private in order not to make you more sad? You mentioned your family lives far away. How has that helped you just being you and your husband going through this on a daily basis, not having a lot of people around you? So Jonathan is my boyfriend. We always laugh because everyone thinks that he's my husband. But we've been together for, gosh, like going on 6 years. Okay. And no, he doesn't keep his feelings private. I hope not, that I know of. I hope not. And I just wish he had more support. And that's really all I can say. But yeah, he's been so amazing to me. I don't know. I know people say this when they're in a relationship. I don't know what I would do without you. But I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, can say that I don't know what I would do without Jonathan. He's been so loving and patient, and he's always there for me, no matter what. And I try to be there for him as much as I can. And yeah, like I said, I just wish that he had more support. And I know that a lot of families go through this where the dad is kind of sadly forgotten, you know. The mom is the one, everyone is worried and concerned about the mom, and they forget that the dad lost their child as well. And yeah, we had planned to make a video about it before, but there's a lot of things that we wish that we could talk about. And yeah, I think like a private therapy session would be the place to do it. Since it's been us two grieving on our own, I feel like it's just brought us a lot closer, and I feel like we just have this bond and this understanding of each other that no one else will ever truly get. No one else really knows what we've gone through. And yeah, I love him so much. So this is the question that everybody's been asking. A lot of people ask this question. They were asking if we're going to try for baby number 2 and if we want another baby. And yes, we do. I think, you know, right after we lost Braxton, and it was like I've gone through the whole pregnancy, so ready to be a mom. Everything was set. To come home without a baby was just like, I don't even know the word. Your world is literally flipped upside down. So even right after losing Braxton, I just felt like the only thing that would bring me comfort was to have another baby. And then as time went on, I kind of realized, you know, like I'm never gonna have Braxton back, and like be okay with that and not think about the next baby as replacing Braxton. Yeah, I think, and I've talked to a lot of moms that have gone through stillbirth also, and they feel the same way. You know, they're just so ready to have a baby at home and do those motherly things that we didn't get to do with our angels. So the answer is yes, we do plan to have another baby. Karan Carr says, did you feel like anything was wrong during your pregnancy with Braxton? I love you. Oh. No, never. Actually, let me change that. In the beginning, I was so afraid of having a miscarriage, and I would go to my doctor's appointments and I would just be so nervous. And then whenever they would play, like, let me hear his heartbeat, I would almost cry because I was just so relieved. You know? Oops, my camera stopped recording. So yeah, in the very beginning, yes, I was worried. I never thought anything was wrong, but I was worried in the beginning that I was just scared of having a miscarriage. And then later on in the pregnancy, no, absolutely not. My doctor would always say everything was perfect, all my results were great, I'm super healthy, you know, all this stuff. So no, I never once thought that there was something wrong going on during my pregnancy with Braxton.